Hello everyone. Welcome to Wonderslate.
Topic for today's quiz is reproduction in animals. Question number 1. Underscore is very important as it ensures the continuation of similar kinds of individuals, generation after generation. Option A. Digestion. Option B. Respiration. Option C. Reproduction. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option C. Reproduction. The process of reproduction in plants. Reproduction is essential for the continuation of a species. Imagine what would have happened if organisms had not reproduced. You will realize that reproduction is very important as it ensures the continuation of similar kinds of individuals, generation after generation. Question number 2. Animals produce gametes that fuse to form a underscore. Option A. Stamens. Option B. Zygote. Option C. Sperm. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option B. Zygote. Males and females have different reproductive parts or organs. Like plants, the reproductive parts in animals also produce gametes that fuse to form a zygote. It is the zygote which develops into a new individual. This type of reproduction beginning from the fusion of male and female gametes is called sexual reproduction. Question number 3. The testes produce the male gametes called underscore. Option A. Sperms. Option B. Zygote. Option C. Testes. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option A. Sperms. The male reproductive organs include a pair of testes, singular, testis, 2 sperm ducts and a penis. The testes produce the male gametes called sperms. Millions of sperms are produced by the testes. Those sperms are very small in size. Each has a head, a middle piece and a tail. Question number 4. Ovary produces female gametes called. Option A. Sperms. Option B. Ova. Option C. Ovaries. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option B. Ova. The female reproductive organs are a pair of ovaries, oviducts, fallopian tubes, and the uterus. Ovary produces female gametes called ova, eggs. In human beings, a single matured egg is released into the oviduct by one of the ovaries every month. Uterus is the part where development of the baby takes place. Like the sperm, an egg is also a single cell. Question number 5. Fusion of the egg and the sperm is called underscore. Option A. Reproduction. Option B. Ovary. Option C. Fertilization. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option C. Fertilization. First step of the process of reproduction is the fusion of a sperm and an ovum. When sperms come in contact with an egg, one of the sperms may fuse with the egg. Such fusion of the egg and the sperm is called fertilization. Question number 6. The nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuse to form a single. Option A. Molecule. Option B. Nucleus. Option C. Uterus. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option B. Nucleus. During fertilization, the nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuse to form a single nucleus. This results in the formation of a fertilized egg or zygote, and zygote is the beginning of a new individual. Question number 7. Fertilization which takes place inside the female body is called underscore. Option A. Internal fertilization. Option B. external fertilization. Option C, test tube fertilization. Option D, none of the above. The correct answer is option A, internal fertilization, meeting of an egg cell from the mother and a sperm cell from the father. So, the new individual inherits some characteristics from the mother and some from the father. If you look at your brother or sister, you can recognize some characters in them similar to those of your mother or your father. Fertilization which takes place inside the female body is called internal fertilization. Internal fertilization occurs in many animals including humans, cows, dogs and hens. Question number 8. Born through IVF technique are called. Option A, external babies. Option B, test tube babies. Option C, adopted babies. Option D, none of the above. The correct answer is option B, test tube babies. In some women, oviducts are blocked. These women are unable to bear babies because sperms cannot reach the egg for fertilization. In such cases, doctors collect freshly released egg and sperms and keep them together for a few hours for IVF or in vitro fertilization, fertilization outside the body. In case fertilization occurs, the zygote is allowed to develop for about a week and then it is placed in the mother's uterus. Complete development takes place in the uterus and the baby is born like any other baby. Babies born through this technique are called test tube babies. Question number 9. Fertilization in which the fusion of a male and a female gamete takes place outside the body of the female is called _. Option A, external fertilization. Option B, internal fertilization. Option C, asexual fertilization. Option D, none of the above. The correct answer is option A, external fertilization. During spring or rainy season, frogs and toads move to ponds and slow-flowing streams. When the male and female come together in water, the female lays hundreds of eggs. As the eggs are laid, the male deposits sperms over them. Each sperm swims randomly in water with the help of its long tail. The sperms come in contact with the eggs. This results in fertilization. This type of fertilization in which the fusion of a male and a female gamete takes place outside the body of the female is called external fertilization. It is very common in aquatic animals such as fish, starfish, etc. Question number 10. Fertilization results in the formation of zygote which begins to develop into an _. Option A, big zygote. Option B, uterus. Option C, embryo. Option D, none of the above. The correct answer is option C, embryo. Fertilization results in the formation of zygote which begins to develop into an embryo. The zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to a ball of cells. The cells then begin to form groups that develop into different tissues and organs of the body. This developing structure is termed an embryo. The embryo gets embedded in the wall of the uterus for further development. Question number 11. The stage of the embryo in which all the body parts can be identified is called a _. Option A, fetus. Option B, infant. Option C, embryo. Option D, none of the above. The correct answer is option A, fetus. The embryo continues to develop in the uterus. It gradually develops the body parts such as hands, legs, head, eyes, ears, etc. The stage of the embryo in which all the body parts can be identified is called a fetus. When the development of the fetus is complete, the mother gives birth to the baby. Question number 12. The embryo takes about _ weeks to develop into a chick. Option A, 13. Option B. 5. Option C. 3. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option C. 3. Internal fertilization takes place in hens also. But hens don't give birth to babies like human beings and cows. Instead, soon after fertilization, the zygote divides repeatedly and travels down the oviduct. As it travels down, many protective layers are formed around it. The hard shell that you see in a hen's egg is one such protective layer. After the hard shell is formed around the developing embryo, the hen finally lays the egg. The embryo takes about 3 weeks to develop into a chick. The hen sits on the eggs to provide sufficient warmth, and the development of the chick takes place inside the eggshell during this period. Question number 13. The animals which give birth to young ones are called _animals. Option A. Viviparous. Option B. Internal fertilization. Option C. Test tube. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option A. Viviparous. Some animals give birth to young ones while some animals lay eggs which later develop into young ones. The animals which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Question number 14. The transformation of the larva into an adult through drastic changes is called _. Option A. Photosynthesis. Option B. Metamorphosis. Option C. Fertilization. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option B. Metamorphosis. Complete metamorphosis begins with the insect hatching from an egg into a soft worm-like shape called a larva. At the end of the larval stage, the insect will make a hard shell and inside it will become a pupa. At this stage, the larva will stop eating and moving. The pupa appears lifeless, but one of nature's most amazing transformations is happening. Inside the pupa, the larva's body will completely change into a fully grown adult. Question number 15. Animals which lay eggs are called _animals. Option A. Oviparous. Option B. Viviparous. Option C. External fertilization. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option A. Oviparous. Some animals give birth to young ones while some animals lay eggs which later develop into young ones. Those animals which lay eggs are called oviparous animals. Question number 16. Reproduction in which only a single parent is involved is called _reproduction. Option A. Bisexual. Option B. Asexual. Option C. External. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option B. Asexual. This type of reproduction involves simple division of the organism and involvement of only one parent. Question number 17. Bacteria and amoeba go through _ method of reproduction. Option A. Binary fission. Option B. Budding. Option C. Sexual. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option A. Binary fission. This method of reproduction is commonly used by bacteria and amoeba. In this process, the DNA of the parent bacteria replicates itself and then the cell divides into two halves, each half having its own DNA. Then the parent cell divides into two identical daughter cells. These daughter cells are identical to the parent cell. Question number 18. Reproduction in Hydra is called as _. Option A. Budding. Option B. Binary fission. Option C. Fertilization. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option A. Budding. Offspring develops on the parent body from a bud-like structure, commonly seen in Echinodermata and Hydra. Once big enough, the buds fall off the parent body and begin their independent existence. Question number 19. The tadpole is the developing stage of option A. Cats. Option B. Frogs. Option C. Dogs. Option D. Humans. The correct answer is option B. Frogs. A young toad or frog in its larval stage of development that lives in water, has a tail and no legs, and, like a fish, breathes through gills. Question number 20. Cloning is a mode of option A. Asexual production. Option B. Sexual production. Option C. Both 1 and 2. Option D. None of these. The correct answer is option C. Both 1 and 2. When new individuals form from the cells of a single parent, then this mode of reproduction is called asexual reproduction. Here the offspring that is produced is identical and are copies of the parent. These similar-looking individuals, both genetically and morphologically, are called clones. Thank you for watching the video. If you'd like practice this quiz, then download the Wonderslate app now, link in the description below. If you have any suggestion for us, feel free to leave comments. If you liked the video and want to see more of it, hit the thumbs up and don't forget to click on subscribe button to get more updates of the future videos.